spiritual care department and the clinical pastoral education faculty to the resident graduation class of 2024-2025. Yes, and we are here to celebrate these folks who have made it through this year. Before we celebrate them, though, I just want to acknowledge the friends and family who are here. We are aware that it is no small sacrifice to share your loved one with us for an entire year. We know that they have been working call duty on the weekends, and when they're home on the evenings, they're busy with their homework. They may be distracted because of a particularly difficult day. We know that you have sacrificed as well. And so we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for all that you've given to support these folks here to get through this program. So thank you for that. So residents, wow, you did it. We're so proud of you. And I just want to let you all know as well, we love all of our resident groups, but this one has a special place in our hearts. They're just a group of dear folks, and together they brought something really special. On the way over here this morning, I was thinking about you all, and I was realizing that none of us included, can go through a year together without being changed. I'm wondering, for you all, do you feel a little bit more brave? You feel a little more humble. You're tougher than you thought you were, perhaps. And also a little more tender. Yeah. You all have walked with people in some of the biggest celebrations and some of the most difficult moments of their lives this year. You've witnessed miracles. You can't do this work without witnessing, I don't know what else we can call it some days, but just miracles. And sometimes the miracle, honestly, is you. That you are somebody that was willing to show up, to sit there, to listen to somebody's deepest fears, and to not run the other way. And in doing that, you help them to feel a little less lonely. And isn't that what we all hope the divine is for us? Yeah, I agree. Anyway, so from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each of you. And I am so excited to see what happens next for each one of you. The journey is just beginning. So congratulations, you all.
Well, it's been a joy for me to get to journey with all of you throughout this year, to get to learn with you all this year, and I'm honored today to bring the opening prayer. Let's pray. May we gather here with hearts full of gratitude for the journey that has brought the 2025 Memorial Hermann CPE residence class to this place. May we give thanks for the courage they've shown in walking beside the sick, the grieving, and the fearful, for the deep listening they have offered to those whose voices tremble, for the gentle presence they have brought into rooms filled with uncertainty, for the resilience they have built within their depths, for the grace they have extended to others and to themselves. May they be blessed and appreciated as they step into the next chapter of service and care. May their hands bring comfort, their words bring peace, and their hearts remain open to the joy and the sorrows of those they serve. May they be granted wisdom and humility to continue learning. May they give thanks, and may all of us give thanks for those who journeyed with them as their supervisors, clinical coaches, mentors, peers, and colleagues, and be grateful not only that we invested in them, but also that we have become better because of the gifts of themselves that they have shared with us. We honor the family members, friends, and faith communities that have supported these residents by offering encouragement, being a soft place to land, and sacrificing your time so that they may grow. We look forward with hope to the ways that they will carry on and the ways they will be as they move forward from here and embrace what's next. Amen. Amen.
Almost exactly 1 year ago, you crossed through your hospital entrance. You went from being outside of it, where people are driving and parking and waiting for their ride, to being inside of it, where people are looking for the right check-in desk, stressed out of their minds, looking for their loved one brought overnight, stressed out of their minds, headed to swipe their badge, in or out. You went from being a visitor, an applicant, a hopeful member, to being an identified member of this place. You got a card with a picture and your name on it, and it made you legit. Made you legal to be here. You got a lanyard with a color that further identified you as a professional care worker, somebody to pull when times are difficult. You had your hands blessed. You were commissioned for service. You passed your background check. Good job. You registered for your unit with ACPE, and you started earning paid time off. In the United States work context, in the United States healthcare context, these are markers of belonging. These were the ways you knew you belonged in these walls across the threshold of a hospital entrance. So what I want you to do now is imagine 100 years before the day you crossed the threshold into your hospital entrance, there was a different hospital that was just being built. 100 years before you crossed your threshold, there was a different hospital being built. Now here in Houston, St. Joseph's Hospital had been already operating since 1887. So there was already a hospital going. But in 1924 and 1925, 2 new hospitals were being built and opened. One was Hermann Hospital, which TMC residents and all of us who work for Memorial Hermann and are a part of this community know, broke ground around this time 100 years ago. And that hospital was built from a very wealthy donor. But there was another hospital being built to open at the same time. And that hospital was built by the city. That hospital was built with funds raised by the city of Houston specifically to serve indigent patients, patients who could not pay for their health care. And the name of that hospital was Jefferson Davis Hospital. The 4-story brick building of Jefferson Davis Hospital at I-45 and I-10. So think, if you can, in your mind where that is. Kind of a weird spot to put something, right? That hospital was built on top of Houston City Cemetery. It was named, as you heard me say earlier, for the President of the Confederacy. And if you can recall, in 1924 and 25, the Civil War had not been over for that long. And in this cemetery, there were thousands of Confederate soldiers and enslaved persons laid to rest side by side in this burial ground. I have spent some time imagining what it was like for city planners to look around and decide of all the places to make a sacred site, a consecrated site of healing. They chose on top of this burial ground is a fascinating decision to me. But the cemetery had fallen into disrepair. It wasn't being well taken care of. And it was embarrassing to the city, and so the city decided we've got to do something different. We've got to transform this place into something else. We've got to take it from a site of death and disrepair to a site of healing and restoration for the people of our city. But the historical register of this place will tell you that there was no widespread removal of graves to build this hospital. Which means on top of a burial ground where enlisted and enslaved lay side by side, returning to the dust together, a new layer was built, a basement built on top of a cemetery to become a place where people could come and get the healing and wholeness that they were seeking. So in the earth of our city, under the ground that you're touching right now, connected to the earth that we can feel, there is a place where there are layers of death and life and healing and death again and restoration and life again. That was another place of thresholds. So 100 years before you entered your hospital, people without payment and with debilitating illness entered theirs. They crossed the same kind of hospital doorway that you crossed. They were looking for the same things that your patients were looking for. They were looking for the same things that you were looking for. Care and skill. And to be made whole again. With everything you've learned this year, imagine being the chaplain in that place 100 years ago. Remember that that was a racially segregated place. So think about where you would and would not have been permitted to serve, and whom you would and would not have been permitted to care for. And the whole thing was short-lived, Jefferson Davis Hospital. It was a kind of short-term project because just over a decade after it was opened, the patient population, those who could not pay for their health care, were redirected to what we would now know as Bentop. And the site fell into disrepair again. And it's artist lofts now, in case anyone's wondering, like I was. So before it was hip artist lofts, it was dilapidated and abandoned. And before it was dilapidated and abandoned, it was a place of healing and restoration. Before it was dilapidated and abandoned, it was a place of burial. Before it was haunted, before it was healing, it was always a liminal place. Liminal places are places between. You have these places in your own sedimentary rock of your own life. You have childhood homes and neighborhoods transformed by economics and time. Your old schools, remember how they smelled when you walked through them? Divinity classrooms where you learned how to make the spirit into science. Remember all those kitchen tables, the gardens, the barracks, the chapels, the borders. All those places that received you and then spit you back out. Those liminal places of your life. Places that were supposed to be safe, but maybe weren't. Places that felt so foreign and then became home. Today, this place, and in the coming weeks, your hospital, whether it's this building or TMC, it's going to become a different place to you. Your way of belonging in this place changes today with your graduation. Hospitals are always liminal. They're always in between places. Nobody comes to the hospital thinking, I'd like to stay here forever. It's always meant to be temporary. It's always meant to be a place to pass through and change while you're inside of it. Being a hospital chaplain means guarding a gate from one place to another. It means you welcome those who are in between. You accompany them through the thresholds from illness to health, sometimes womb to life outside of womb, and many times from this life to the next, whatever that is, that lay beyond. What a sacred honor that is, to be a guardian of the gate. People are at their most vulnerable at that time, and the existential questions come with the food and the bill. You spent this year learning what hospitality means. You spent this whole year learning. Real hospitality, not surface level hospitality, but real hospitality, something very raw. It's the kind that Henri Nouwen, or as we Americans say, Henry Nouwen, said was like carving out a part of yourself. It's reserving space in yourself for another. Never meant to be forever, the way he was describing it, because the space you reserve in yourself, you have to go to the next room and do the same thing, and the next room, and the next room, emptying yourself, receiving the pain of the other, emptying yourself again, receiving the pain again and again. There's a holy story from my tradition, which is Christianity. It's a story about a man named Jesus who was being pestered about who was going to get into heaven, how to get there, and when they found out it was about loving your neighbor, they said, well, like, who is that? Like, technically, who is my neighbor? And then Jesus told this story in response to these questions that he was getting. It was a story about a man who, while he was traveling, was robbed and beaten and left for dead. And a lot of upstanding folks passed by this man until a super outsider, like a real reject, stopped and saw him and felt something inside of himself that he could not ignore. The story says that he knelt by this man and he soothed him and he bandaged him and he gave him medicine. And then the story goes that he took him to a shelter and he paid the innkeeper to keep him well and keep him going. And he said to the innkeeper he promised to come back and finish the bill. Pastoral care writers and workers have held this story as a model for the work that we do for a long time. And it's also a model of being a guardian of liminal space. That was not the Samaritan's home. The inn was not the man's home. The Samaritan is good, but he is not enmeshed. He does not adopt the man forever. He keeps his own life. He shares responsibility for this man with an innkeeper. He goes on his way to the next street, just as you have gone to the next room, and the next room, and the next room. I know you're remembering patients that you wish you could have put on your donkey and just taken home with you forever. I know you're thinking of them, but you didn't do it. And you get to graduate because you didn't do it, so good job. You entrusted those people to their nurses and their techs and the next chaplain who would carry the duty pager after you. The calling 100 years ago and the calling today is the same in many ways. That when you happen upon a sufferer, you stop. You see them, you really see them, and you kneel down, and you feel something inside of yourself. And you feel the carve out, that temporary dwelling that you make for somebody else. Your spirit and body are a hospital. Your hospitality, you're walking around a sacrament of welcome. That's who you are now. You are the innkeeper and the Samaritan. And no matter where you go, to Northeast, or Pearland, or TCH, or the next guard weekend, or South Korea, you're different now. You're carrying the carve out. You crossed over from the outside to the inside. From before CPE to after CPE. And you can't go back from the threshold of today. To some degree or another. And for each of you, this is a little bit different. You burn the ships of your old life. When you went from visitor to applicant to resident to graduate. You changed. I watched it. We got to witness it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Merciful rebel. Mama bear. Fighting buck. Total non-supremacist squirrel chaser. Secure base. Combat safe house. Prophet. Each of you is a new guardian. A graduate guardian at the gate of illness and health. Places are liminal. This place is liminal, but times are also liminal. Today, it's both. Today, we're in a liminal building, a place nobody comes to stay forever, and we're in a liminal time. Temporary program. You came, you did it, you succeeded, you're done. So we're marking it today, we're announcing it. But we're not building anything permanent. It's like a walking stick in sand. We're just saying, for this moment, for this day, we're marking this extremely sacred turning point for each of you. Tomorrow, this room will have no trace of what we've done today. Not at all. No one will ever know that we had this moment to be gathered here in this room. It's over. When it's over, it's over. You know hospitals, right? Think of those rooms where there's a new patient that comes through and you're thinking, oh my God, if they knew what happened in this room before they got here. Your names are going to come off the doors and off the mailboxes, and our WhatsApp is probably going to go a little bit quiet. There's nothing left you have to write for me. It's exciting, right? It's really exciting. Yeah. We're breaking camp today. After this, it's in the innkeeper's hands, and you're going to strike off on your own. You have new gates to guard after today. And you're going to take all of this with you. I want you to look back at the people behind you and see those people. These are the people that got you to the front of this room. Make some eye contact with them, okay? Like, let them know. I see you, okay? Thank you. These were your fellow travelers. They got you to this moment. I want you to look at your hands. Just marvel at these hands for a minute. Everything these hands touched and did this year. Everything you carried awkwardly in and out of rooms, trying not to drop it. I want you to look at the lines on your hands, the echoes of your work, your labor, the prayers, the blessings that you offered, the touch that you offered. All right, you can stop looking at your hands now. Thank you. You were called to be a guardian of liminal spaces and times. Not 100 years ago. What a wild time that would have been to be a chaplain, but that's not your time. This is your time. Now you're called to be the chaplain to the person who maybe similarly cannot pay for their health care. And it's affecting how well they will get. Called to be the chaplain to those who are not sure if they're safe from detention, deportation, who are utterly exhausted by the world that they have been born into. This is your time. It's a very uncertain time to do this work. It is a time of many thresholds. Many things are passing away. And many people are passing away from life to death to new life again. And the people who work in these walls are weary. And you know it well. And many of you know it well as well. So just by walking, just by being that walking sacrament of carve out and hospitality, you represent breath that somebody can't catch, light that somebody cannot see, hope that somebody cannot find. I want you to keep walking with that carve out in yourself, ready to receive, to entrust, and to pass on to the next temporary dwelling. You're going to carve out space for a lot more folks. And each one you find, I want you to remember that they contain layers inside of them. In each person you meet, there is a burial ground. On top of that burial ground of each person, there is healing that has happened and will happen. And on top of that healing, there is art and beauty. And you're going to recognize all of that in the people that you see. Because you've been well trained. And you're going to stop, and you're going to kneel down, and you're going to see them, and you're going to soothe them and bring them medicine. So we're going to break camp today so that you can find all the other temporary dwellings that are waiting for you to be their guardian. And you're going to be so good at it. You're going to be so good at it. You've been practicing for this. So remember your own layers. Remember all those who have been buried in you. The ancestors who watch over you, whose witness brought you to this day. And the healing that you've received in this year. And for all the years that brought you to this place. And the beauty in you. You are beautiful. You've created beauty from all of your ashes. So, go on your own roads, okay? You're ready. And thank your Maker that there's a path stretching out before you. May it be so. Amen.
I don't think this graduation would be complete without me just letting you all know that Britt Peary, our boss, our vice president of spiritual care, would have been here. He is here without fail, except his baby daughter's getting married now. So I just wanted to take a moment to pass along his good wishes to you, his support of you. Brent is one of those people that will always remember your name. It's kind of uncanny, and your story. And even though he hasn't spent a ton of time with each of you, trust me, he knows your story and what's going on with you. And so I just, on his behalf, up in Seattle with his baby girl, I just want to say congratulations to you all, and, from Brett. So, and now, drum roll.
Graduates, this is it. It's time to cross the threshold. So when I say your name, please come up and receive your certificate. Justin Clay Bowers. Amy Codney. Stephen Davies.
They really got you on the side of it.
I know.
Jason Dethridge. Christian Hernandez.
You guys want to redo yours?
Yeah.
Juan Perales. And Dorothy Pollard. Congratulations to all of you.
To the family and friends, hey, that have lent our hospitals your people, we're giving them back. We know they have been absent from you in many ways, that you have reorganized your plans more than once. You have sacrificed probably financially as well as time, and they've been present at home, but not really present with you from time to time. We know this. We are so grateful that you have lent us and lent our patients their love, their compassion, their skill, and their investment in their learning. We have loved them, we still love them, and we will always love them. but you can have them back.
All right, what a year, right, graduates? Ready to go back? All right. Maybe join me up here in the front and turn around, face your loved ones, family and friends, make some eye contact. We got you this day. After 52 weeks, for 6 of you and 40 weeks for Juan, you are officially dismissed from CPE. While we still have another week of work together, we're coming back for a week. Don't forget, but isn't it nice to have classes and seminars in the rearview mirror? So as you're dismissed, may you continue to learn and grow wherever life takes you, taking and applying the gifts this year, reflecting and celebrating on all you've accomplished. So as you graduate, may the rose rise up to meet you. May the sun shine warm on your face. May pure be the joys that surround you. And may light shine on your future paths. Graduates, family, and friends, as we conclude this graduation ceremony, may I present to you the best residency class at Memorial Hermann for the 2024. Thank you for being here. Go forth in peace and love and gratitude.
All right, it was nice meeting you. So, I gotta go home. I worked last night. I just got off work. I know. Tired.